Hey YouTube, MrCleanerNash, aka MC Nash. This is a video response for semi-automatic shooter contest. 100 subscribers. I think he's almost at 200 by now. But he had mentioned a great subject matter, which is how would you teach a female to begin with a firearm as far as training is concerned, and that's a great subject matter. Thanks for being creative with that. I wanted to first just show you two guns, two pocket pistols. One is a Car P380 semi-automatic on your left, and the other is a Smith & Wesson 642 38 Special. Okay. Obviously, there's some difference in sizes and caliber and capacity, even in the polymer versus alloy. So definitely two guns on the opposite spectrum of things here. You know, if you talked to me a few weeks ago, I'd probably tell you that I'd probably recommend this car over the Revolver, but in talking with some folks, online and doing some more research, I would certainly recommend the Revolver over the semi-automatic, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Now, specifically, I'm talking just to pocket carry and purse carry for women. Obviously, I'm not going to show you a full-size gun, but I'll get into the self-defense guns for women that I recommend as well in a minute. So as you can see, no magazine. Gun is unloaded, nothing in the chamber, okay? The thing about this car is that if you watch some of my videos, I had some issues with failure to extract, send it back to car. To make a long story short, it was running 99.9%. I had one failure to extract out of every 100 rounds. I ran even another 100 rounds and had one failure to extract. When this was originally my pocket pistol, I went with the 9mm PM9. So I had given this to my wife, and she likes the feel of it. She likes the smallness of it more than the Smith & Wesson. However, she carried with one in the chamber, relying on it that it was going to go bang because she had a difficulty with this slide if there was a malfunction. This slide is very small and it's very tight. It's even hard for me to pull back all the way, especially hard to wrap with my hands wrapped around this camera, but you can get the idea. We actually put in some dummy rounds at the range for her to deal with a malfunction, and it just took her a lot longer to deal with it and correct it. And in a situation, you're a goner if it takes that long. And even in most situations with malfunctions, even with somebody who's skilled, it's only it's a split second before you're off guard, or somebody's got their gun on you. So with that said, having 1 out of 100, I sleeping on it and thinking about it. I don't want her to have that one round where it's a failure to extract and she really needs it. It's got to be 100% reliable for me. 1 out of 100 is just too close, and I don't want to take that chance. So this is being retired for her purse carry, and this is her new purse carry gun right here. It's going to go bang every time. Yeah, it's not a 6+1 in 380. It's a 5-rounder, but 38 Special, especially with +P, rocks the 380 round. Just doesn't. There's no comparison. It's empty. Nothing in the chambers. Obviously, it's a bigger gun, but she purse carries, so it's not an issue. This is only 15 ounces. It's an Airweight alloy frame, stainless steel chamber and barrel. The only thing I do not like about this is the long trigger pull. It's very crisp once you stage it, but it's very hard to get staged right there, even for me. But this thing's gonna go bang every time. It's got the 38 special plus P powerful round. You know, are you gonna need more than 5 rounds? Probably not. You know, 1 to 3 shots is what it takes typically in a close encounter, and then the fight's over. You know, so 5 rounds I think is adequate for a close encounter. And you know, everybody loves the polymer higher capacity pocket pistols, but the 380 round is, you know, for me, is getting phased out in my collection. Nothing fancy, just came out with a video. The 380 round sucks, you know, which was interesting. I kind of agree with them on that. I'm just, they're too picky and they're too unreliable for me, just with my given experience. And this J-frame's been around for what, 40 or 50 years. And they haven't changed much of it since then. And, you know, I haven't heard of anybody having any issues with it. So, also wanted to mention that of the revolvers, we went double action. It's hammerless, easy to draw. It's not going to snag. It's easier to operate. You know, you just pull the trigger. There's no messing with the hammer. So that's why we went with the hammerless shrouded version, Centennial frame. Now let's talk about a defensive gun. Okay, for home defense. Okay, then I'm going to be recommending up to the 9mm double stack polymer thin frame. Case in point, XDM9 Springfield Armory. She's got the Laser Max Unimax red laser on the front for pinpoint accuracy. This is a 19+1. She's got, you know, 124 grain gold dot in it, 20 rounds. It's got a great trigger on it. It was unloaded, by the way. Short reset. You know, the slide on the little 380 is very tough for her to pull back. It's a lot harder than this 9mm. She can do this with ease. It's a very easy slide to pull back, and she's able to do it. And if there is a jam, which these never jam, you know, they're like Glocks. You know, she could take care of it a lot quicker than that little 380. It's just a very tight spring, and it's just a little slide. It's very hard to grip. These serrations are very easy to grip. And so she doesn't have a problem with this for home defense. I wouldn't recommend a revolver for home defense. This is, I just think, 20 rounds, you know, high capacity is certainly superior, even to a, you know, 357 5-rounder, you know. That's just my opinion. I think you're going to need more rounds in a home invasion. You never know how many multiple targets are coming at you. And 5 rounds to me just ain't going to cut it. You know, a 20 round on tap, I'll take 9mm over the 357. So, better be safe than sorry. What else to cover? Let's see. I think for the most part, that's what you're looking at right here. Home defense, XDM9 is my recommendation. Single stack. I'm sorry, double stack, but it's very thin, a lot thinner than a Glock, okay? So I wouldn't recommend a Glock. This is my number 1 recommended female shooter right there, home defense, and for the range. And this is number 1 recommended for purse carry, pocket carry for women, 38 special. All right, guys, as far as shout-outs, I have 3 quality channels that I communicate with a lot and have really been a help to me. The first one I got to mention is Oilthegun. He's probably the first channel since I've been on YouTube, the first major channel that has really reached out, very participatory in the commenting, contest entries. I just can't thank him enough. He was kind of my first mentor, so to speak. guy I looked up to on YouTube when I initially joined a few months ago, and he still is. He's a hell of a guy, as most of you know. And you know, he's got a ton of subs. He's just very responsive. I don't know how he does it. He's just amazing. So obviously the vids show that, and so that's my number one shout out. Second shout out is Edged Weapon 88. Him and I started correlating with our first thing in common we had was we both had the car P380. He saw my 3 Series vid about customer service and the kind of the trials and tribulations I went through with car. So he had reached out to me when he was having problems with his car, and I was obviously more than happy to help him and kind of, you know, help him accomplish, you know, the right result. So, you know, we communicated a lot then, and you know, he's got a lot of knives. He's a great knife enthusiast as far as firearms as well, and so we just found more and more in common, just been communicating more and more, and he's a great guy. Very classy guy. Third thing I want to shout out, third person, is the Theyankeemarshal. Yeah, man, he is funny. He's a hell of a guy. He's a jack of all trades. The guy, there's nothing that he doesn't know how to do. I mean, it's just amazing. He was bead blasting his Colt. You know, it looked like better than the factory. He sands off. You know, he's anal like me. I mean, I'm like that too. I just don't have the knowledge and the tools. I have to live with my insecurities. You know, he's able to iron them out and get rid of them. I have to live with the imperfections on some of my guns and knives. So. I give major props to him, man. He's kind of do-it-yourselfer, and he's damn good at it. So, you know, and he's got a hell of a personality. He's a good sense of humor, funny guy, and so you definitely got to check him out. He's definitely underrated. We're probably the most underrated guy on YouTube, in my opinion. All right, guys. MC Nash, and I'm out. See ya.